Your fear of making mistakes is quite literally ruining your potential. I see way too many people who are fearful of what to do, what not to do, overthinking everything to the point where they don't take action. In fact, I'm probably the worst overthinker there is. And the one thing that has really changed things for me is just taking action, creating, not overthinking everything, because the truth is that you can't perfectly plan everything out. I think we have this fallacy in our minds that, if we just think about every possible scenario and every possible outcome before we take the first step, then we'll be better off. And then we go 6 months down the road, don't take any action, and then sit there and overthink about where we could be had we just taken the step, regardless of how we felt, regardless of what we didn't know, regardless of what people thought. I would say the one thing that I've struggled with the most in my life is overthinking. It's what triggered my obsession with reading books. And the problem with that is that it came to a point where I was just mentally masturbating. I was just reading book after book after book. To me, in my mind, taking action was going to Barnes & Noble and doing another book haul. Y'all hear this? That's my water bottle. Anyways, I'm grateful for the books. I think that alone was such a beautiful lesson to realize, like, okay, this is great that we read them. I hope we learned a thing or two, but now let's just take action. And since then, I haven't necessarily had the same habit with reading books. I still read books and I love books. And in fact, I'm reading this book right now called Outsmarting Reality, which is just completely changing my life. But it's not like this thing that I have to do every single day or else I feel like a failure. And I think that was the problem. I would check off the list reading a book, and then a year passed by. I didn't make any progress, really. I didn't really put any sort of dent in the world. I was still struggling. And I thought to myself, like, okay, where am I getting with this? And how many times do we want to do something in life, but we talk ourselves out of it, or we sit there and we read a book about it, or we sit there and do some research and find a content creator to mentally masturbate ourselves, especially in this day and age when we're so addicted to dopamine. We're so addicted to hearing somebody tell us what to do, searching and searching, because the next thing that we find is going to be the thing that changes everything. When the only thing that's going to change everything is taking action and just getting messy, taking the first step and just doing the damn thing. Lately, I've had some resistance towards creating a certain types of content. One of those being that I just don't promote one of my digital products enough. And I truly believe that this product can change a lot of people's lives who want to create a brand and really make an impact and streamline their creative process. And I know that for a fact because it completely changed my life. Coming from a scatterbrained overthinker who wanted to make a dent in the world, make an impact, but didn't know how to do that, I created the product for myself. And so anyways, it's just a content format that I'm not used to. Today, we finally are scripting the process, taking that first step, not worrying so much about what the end result is going to be or what people are going to think about it. And even this video right now, I didn't even plan on making this video, but I felt like there's this powerful message going on that I'm learning right now, which is just, or at least not learning, but being reminded of, which is, dude, just lean into the discomfort. Lean into the thing that you don't want to do. Resistance is the way forward. Now, there are some things that we resist for a good reason, but we know the things that we're resisting that we know would make our lives better if we just kept on leaning into that resistance, the things that we actually care about, the things that we know we could monetize, the things that would make a difference in our lives. And this could go as far as relationships, right? You want to have that difficult conversation with someone and let them know how you're feeling, but you're avoiding it. You want to bring up some boundaries. You're intimidated to bring it up for some reason, but you know that just having that conversation is going to make you feel better about yourself. If we just lean into this resistance, don't worry about what is the perfect sentence to say or the perfect tone to say it in or what perfect timing to say that in either. If we just leaned into it and realize that we're not perfect, that we're messy human beings, and that's what makes us all relatable. It's what helps us connect with one another. You and I both know that. We just forget it and we get stuck in our ways. We get sucked into the algorithm and then we just distract ourselves from our purpose, from the things that would fulfill us and light us up and actually make us happy. At the end of the day, what makes me happy is being willing to step into the discomfort of completely comfortable life where I'm just numbing myself. I'm staying cozy in the corner of my couch. I'm watching the Netflix show that I want to watch, just not doing anything. Ultimately makes me feel very unfulfilled about myself. And that's because us humans are wired to do difficult things. When we focus on self-growth and use that self-growth to help other people, that is the formula to fulfillment. And when we're not leaning into the resistance, we're not growing. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you can focus on just watering the garden as much as possible and being consistent with it, your life is going to change inevitably. And realize that when you don't water the garden, you take that week off or you take the 2 weeks off from the gym, that's when leaves start to die. They start to turn yellow. I experienced this recently because I wasn't taking care of my plant one week, and I waited a little, like 1 to 2 days longer than I should have to water my plants, which, speaking of, I should probably water my plants. And so many of my leaves were turning yellow, and I was like, fuck, dude, like I need to water my garden. Don't chastise yourself when you forget to water the garden and your leaves are turning yellow. Just recognize that your leaves are turning yellow, and that if you want a healthy garden, you just need to water it. I saw this quote the other day. It said, an expert is just somebody who's made all the mistakes you can make in a very narrow field. What is a very narrow field where you're willing to make 1,000 mistakes because you know that it'll help you master the subject? Get out there and go just do the difficult thing. The thing that you're resisting is the thing that you should lean into if you know that it will inevitably make your life better. Just imagine how it would feel to accomplish, to overcome that resistance. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.